support from the likes of Sanne Kant and especially Justine Gekire. And you can see in that she, Lotte Kopecky, really lifts the level of Belgian cycling, Belgian women's cycling. And I've been told, this is not scientifically proven, but every time Lotte Kopecky wins a bike race, at least 10 girls will start cycling with a club as a sport.
Oh, I really hope that's true, and I actually can believe it's a nice role model for young girls, and it's true. Belgium cycling is doing better every year, and Gekire did rode a really strong race, but still, like, they were often just with 2 or 3 Belgians, where there were six Dutchies, yeah. So it wasn't a fair competition, but it's true, and I think also. It's nice for girls in a team or in a country team. If you have
there in the purple jerseys, racing with Attilio Viviani, Samuele Sambelli, Veiko Stojnic, Marco Morgano, Alexander Konishev, Lorenzo Quartucci, and Jan Stöckli, the Swiss rider. Time for refreshments there for our riders, well needed. Got quite a few feed zones here. Around the reservoir. We're now racing around the Pretty Boy reservoir on the Dam Road. Carl Murphy here in last place with number 111. Just ahead of him, David Lozano. We have Julien Gagné in green. Carson Miles with 132, and leading this group of 5 is Oscar Sevilla.
And that's what you see as well. You really see that they are climbing.
If you look at the palmares of Oscar Sevilla, it starts all the way back in 1998, like I said, with the Kelme team, when he was already racing races like Paris-Nice and the Giro d'Italia and Catalonia, all the way to 2023, with a pretty impressive prize pot there for the crit series they have now. But there's also a little bit of difficulties with some teams not really being part of it, like Legions of LA, for example. But we have these races on GCN for you to enjoy. Crit racing in the US is always very interesting. I remember Iris Sloppendel, our colleague, explaining that for a summer she went crit racing in the US, which was absolutely really interesting financially, she said, because the premiums are pretty good. But also just the lifestyle there, racing there, staying with host families, being a guest in ordinary family homes. She really has great memories from her time racing crits with United Healthcare. Have you raced crits over in the US?
No, I haven't. But I've heard a lot of it because I had several teammates from the US. And it's a really big scene, and it's really different than the crits we have here in the Netherlands or Belgium. It's really a style. It's a different group of people actually doing the crits than other road races. It's fast. It's short. It's really explosive.
Yeah, our circuit is going to be 7.5. And how far back are they? Yep, how far back are they? With Leonardo Basso here with number 51. We have the impressive hair of Samuel Boortman there with 117. That's a serious mullet there going on.
but the speed is definitely out of this group. We're not...
And it was meant as a safe haven for English Catholics because, yeah, well, you know that when when the English Anglican Church was founded by Henry VIII and all these subsequent kings, Catholicism really didn't go down all that well in England and Scotland, including, of course, Queen Mary, who wanted to remain a Catholic but could not, etc., decapitated. The whole shebang, you know the history. But this state was named after Mary, as was Virginia, which is slightly to the south of here, named after the Virgin Queen Elizabeth, although if you have watched the movie, you're probably not all that convinced that she was the Virgin Queen. Anyhow, good movie that, by the way, but there was a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the racing here as well, and there comes a point, Yip, that you have to think, well, are we going to keep on pushing for this group, or are we going to wait for our teammate? Because in that second group, there's another 2 Lidl Trek riders.
It is, yeah, actually, it's quite an easy situation for Lidl Trek because these guys can just keep on pulling. The other guys who are behind don't have to do any work in that second group. So when they come back, they are way more fresh, and they can try to go on the next attack. So there's not really a wrong choice to make at this moment.
It's really great to see that Matthias Skilmose is doing a lot of work and protecting Tom Squinch here, who seems to be the designated rider. He is, of course, very well accustomed to racing on US soil. Like I said, he won 3 races, 3 stages in the Tour of California. I remember the one. And there comes a point, Yip, that you have to think, well, are we going to keep on pushing for this group, or are we going to wait for our teammate? Because in that second group, there's another 2 Lidl Trek riders.
It is, yeah, actually, it's quite an easy situation for Lidl Trek because these guys can just keep on pulling. The other guys who are behind don't have to do any work in that second group. So when they come back, they are way more fresh, and they can try to go on the next attack. So there's not really a wrong choice to make at this moment.
It's really great to see that Matthias Skilmose is doing a lot of work and protecting Tom Squinch here, who seems to be the designated rider. He is, of course, very well accustomed to racing on US soil. Like I said, he won 3 races, 3 stages in the Tour of California. I remember the one, amongst others, with Galopin, with Scott McGill, with our Mexican rider, Eder Freire. Simon Yates also in that group.
Riders who are too far behind to battle for the podium.
I think the TV director has lost some of the riders. Ah, we're back here. Paulus is back. This is Hugo Hull. There is Hamilton.
But there's no proper chase.
No, there's absolutely no chasing going on at the moment. I think it's over. Squinch, he has to sit back, can't do anything. He had his chance. It was a really, really early move there by Tom Squinch, which was then countered by this man. Leopard Pro cycling team joined Trek Segafredo as an intern, as a stagiaire in the COVID year. In 2020, racing with them mostly in races in Belgium and Italy. Not a really big program back in 2020 because, well, frankly, there weren't a lot of races going on. Only just 22, I said, from the region of Copenhagen. Very promising already as a youngster, with a second place at the national championships in Denmark. As a first-year junior, he was third in Paris-Roubaix juniors behind Lewis Askey, is now making his debut in the Vuelta, and Samuele Manfredi. And then quite early on in his career, basically as a second-year elite rider, joined the Trek Segafredo team with some good results straight away in his home race of the Tour of Denmark. But one of his breakthrough performances was actually in the Tour de l'Ain, which is a breakthrough race for many ride track pretty soon to get him on board for a longer period of time. Of course, a huge influx of finances for Lidl Trek with the arrival of Lidl. I do assume there are Lidls in Denmark, and the team is actively looking for riders from the different countries where the Lidl supermarket chain has a large presence. And I do expect him to stay on for a longer period of time. He's done 2 Grand Tours, made his debut in the Giro d'Italia in 2022, and this year in the Tour de France. His best result this year in the Tour was a 6th place, and that was the stage to Larun, stage number 5, when he was 6th, just behind Jonas Vingegaard, the eventual winner of the Tour de France, of course. Going into the final mile here with Matthias Skelmose. The gap to the competition, where we don't see the name of Squinch anymore, is now up to 1 minute and 45 seconds. When he made his move, the others were already done. They were already spent. They were completely wore down by chasing Tom Squinch. And yeah, well, he didn't have to do anything in that chase. He could just sit back in 4th position, look at proceedings. This is a girl going the wrong way, but hey, she's riding a bike, so that's good. And here we have it, zipping up the jersey. That fantastic design there by Lidl Trek. This is how a national championships jersey should be. A big smile there by Matthias Skelmose. Win number 9 is on the horizon, and that is going to be his 7th of the year already. What a year for this man. 23 at the end of the month, and he played the games of numbers fantastically well. They had 5 riders when the decisive split were made. They had Galopin, Lipins, Skelmose, Vacek and Squinch. In the end, Squinch and this man remained, and when Squinch was maybe saying he was done, maybe he was not, but he bridged across, caught his teammate up and over, and eventually winning the bike race. The winner of the Maryland Cycling Classic 2023 is Matthias Skelmose. That's teamwork. That's how you play the numbers game, Yip.
Yeah, kind of.
I am kind of curious to hear what the story is going to be.
Yeah, me too. I also wonder what happened to Squeens. No, to Squeens, who was in this group, and he only needed to sit in the wheels, and somehow he still got dropped. So maybe he had a mechanical, or maybe he was just done with it, which I can imagine.
It was just a really long-range attack there by Tom Squinch. Almost 40 kilometers, I think, 35. The race is over. We can cross the street here. Luckily, nobody was harmed there. 500 meters, less than 500 meters. Hamilton in first. Hugo Hull in second. Paulus in third. Paulus is eyeing like a shark there When will he launch his sprint? Does he have anything left? We do know that he was dropped a few times. No, he has something left. He wants to be on that podium. Nielsen Paulus is going to sprint to second place, and Hugo Hull is going to be third. That is going to be our podium today. A winner from Denmark, a runner-up from the US, and a third place for the man from